Hmm. अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। इनको स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नवाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So today is our seventh lecture in this SEM of Tattva Part 1, and we will completing the chapter number 6, 5 distinct disposition. Souls, 5 distinctive disposition. Bhav means disposition, and distinctive indicates that these are asadharana, not common. Okay, so it is called souls 5 distinctive dispositions. Now, what are these 5 distinctive dispositions? First one is opshamik bhav, subsidential disposition. The second one is shaik bhav, destructional disposition. The third one is shayopshamik bhav. So shayopshamik bhav is substantial come destructional. Okay, substantial come destructional disposition. Then we have odaik bhav, rising disposition. And the last one is parinamik bhav, inherent nature. So these are the 5 kinds of distinctive disposition. These are found only in soul and nowhere else. No other substance manifests this kind of disposition except soul. So it is called distinctive. It is not common to all the substance, it is distinctive. Now, we left at page number 47. Right? Page number 47 in between, like there is no living being without parinamic bhav. So all kinds of souls have 2 of these 5 bhav any point of time, not less than 2. So the parinamic bhav, first of all, we are discussing there is no living being without parinamic bhav. There is no worldly being without audik bhav. So long the worldly existence is there, the audik bhav will be there. Then the third one is there is no incompletely sentient being without shayopshamik bhav. Okay. So shayopshamik bhav, the spiritual stages are 1 to 12. Opshamik bhav, it is 4 to 11. Parinamic bhav is 1 to 14th and Siddh Bhagwan also. Shaik bhav is between 4th to 14th, right? And even Siddh Bhagwan also have that. Then there are no beings with Saik faith, conduct, and the Aryantas and the Siddha without Shaik bhav. The last one, there are no beginners in the path of religion without opshamik bhav. So the sequence is least number of souls are in opshamik bhav. Shaik bhav is more than opshamik bhav. Then shayopshamik, the number of souls are more than shaik bhav. Then odek bhav, and the last one parinamik bhav. So that's why number of souls available under each disposition. In this way, the sequence is being given. Now, what are the durations of these 5 bhavs? So first of all, we discuss opshamik bhav with a beginning and an end. Sadi Sant. Sadi means the one which has a beginning, and Shant means which has an end. Anadi is which is beginningless, and Anant is which has no end. Okay, infinite. So opshamik bhav is Sadi Sant with a beginning and an end, because its duration is only Antar Murat. Antar Murat means less than 48 minutes. So maximum it could be less than 48 minutes. Okay. The next is Shaik Bhav. Shaik Bhav is with a starting point. Okay. Because it is not there since time immemorial. It is something that comes to the soul in the path of liberation. So it has got a starting point, but with no end. Once it starts manifesting, then there is no end. It is also with Aryant Bhagwan and also with Siddh Bhagwan. With a starting point, but with no end, and from the point of view of staying in this world, it is somewhat more than 33 sagars. Now, sagar is a very long period. So it is called Sadi Anant. It has got a beginning, but no end. The other day we read the story of Panch Pandava. Okay. And because they got this auspicious disposition that what would have been going with the elder brothers. So this sort of sentiment bound them life in heavenly being, Sarvat Siddhi, for 33 sagars. The younger two ones, Nakul and Sahadev. Okay. And the elder three ones, they didn't manifest any kind of disposition, so they got liberated. The third is Sayapshamik Bhav. The Sayapshamik Bhav has no starting point, but having an end. Sentience, perception, and vitality aspect. So it is Anadi Sant. So it has no beginning, but it has got an end. Now, Jia, I'll make you a co-host. You can share the text.
So, okay. That's what.
Tattwagyan part 1. Page number 47. Okay. So this is Sayapshamik Bhav. Okay. Then so this was Sayapshamik Bhav, and again there is another aspect to Sayapshamik Bhav from the point of view of modification. So if you consider it from the point of view of modification, it has got a beginning and end, because all the modifications are of one moment only. Okay. And so this could go on till 66 sagars. Okay. From the open manifestation of religious aspect. The fourth one, Odik Bhav. It has got no starting point, but having the end. Okay. In relation to those souls who have the capacity for salvation. Bhavya Jeev. Okay. So Bhavya Jeev always get liberated, and when they get liberated, this Odik Bhav ends. Okay. So Odik Bhav is up to 14th stage of spiritual development. So it has got no starting point. It is there since time immemorial, but it has got an end. Again, from the modification point of view, having no start and no end in connection with the abhavya jivas. Okay. Those souls who have no capacity for salvation and those having the capacity but not practical achievement. Durana dur bhavya. Okay. So these two categories of soul, they have no starting and no end to Audik Bhav because they will never get liberated. So there is no end to this Audik Bhav. Coming on to the last, Parinamic Bhav is eternal. No starting point, no end. Okay. It has got no beginning and no end. It is there since time eternal. Anadi Anant. Next page. We are into the next page now. Yes. So now, disciple has a question. I have understood this. Now, please let me know what bhavas are worth having and what not. Because without knowing the merits and demerits of these, how can we retain or leave them? The question is, what is worth knowing? What is worth adapting? What is worth taking shelter? And what is worth renouncing? He gney upade. So after every lesson, we come to this conclusion that what is worth adapting, what is worth renouncing, and what is worth only knowing. So all are worth knowing in the first place, okay? Because unless and until we don't know the nature of each sentiments, each disposition, how can we come to the conclusion whether it is worth adapting or it is worth renouncing? So all the five are worth knowing in the first place. I will read the answer first. Well asked. Without knowing what is to be adopted, which is to be discarded, and what is to be known only, our information cannot be complete. Okay. So we have to discuss He, Gne, Upade. So all the five are worth knowing, first place. Then Audik Bhav is undesirable, worth renouncing. Opshamik and Shayopshamik of the pursuer, of the right believer, and Shaik Bhav from the point of view of obtaining it are desirable. Okay. Means they are worth manifesting. Okay. Opshamik and Shayopshamik of the pursuer and Shaik Bhav from the point of view of obtaining it are desirable. प्रकट करने की अपेक्षा उपादेय. Okay. And parinamic bhav is the most desirable, or from the point of view of taking refuge in it, or from the point of view of taking shelter. So it is completely shelter worthy. Okay. Audik bhav is perversion. It is undesirable for the man in the pursuit of the soul and is not for adherence. We cannot take shelter of Audik Bhav. Okay. So it is undesirable, those who want to get liberated. Opshamik Bhav and the Shayopshamik Bhav of the pursuer are with starting point and the end. They are manifestations of one moment only. Okay. So Opshamik Bhav and Shayopshamik Bhav are also momentary, and they are modifications only. And for the pursuer, they are worth manifesting. Okay. Shaik Bhav is with its beginning but having no end. However, it is also a modification or manifestation of one moment only, and as such not suitable for reliance or refuge or taking shelter. Okay. So
So,
these are all momentary dispositions. So these are not worth taking shelter or not worth, not worth taking shelter.
so can you repeat like what does opshamic and sharpshamic of the pursuer mean? Again?
Pursuer means who wants to get into the path of liberation. Okay, so those who are bhavya jeev, they can attain liberation if they try. So they are pursuing. Okay, then there are some jeev who have not the capacity to manifest right belief. Okay, and they will never get liberated. So those category of souls are also there. So we are talking of those souls who has the capacity to get liberated and who was a seeker, pursuer of the soul. For them, these discussions are going on. Okay. Parinamic bhav, that is eternal, is the only bhav for taking refuge or taking shelter. Okay. In a nutshell, those who want to treat the path of religion and wants to be happy should not look towards the first four bhavas and should take refuge in the eternally existent and sentient by nature parinamic bhav only. Because by taking refuge in it, shelter in it, religion takes roots, continues, prospers, and achieves completion. So from starting to end in the path of liberation, we have only one parinamic bhav to take shelter in it. And when we take shelter in this parinamic bhav, all the desired modification manifest. Okay. So that is the conclusion. This is the end of this chapter. But I'll give you one practical example. You have to look at the screen. Uh, so this is parinamic bhav and this is karmas. Okay. Now we will see how the correlation between the karma and the soul, and because of which the five kinds of distinctive dispositions are there. So this is what? Soul, pure soul. Okay. And this is what? Karma. Okay. Now, Jia, you tell me which disposition is this one? This one? Which disposition? This is inherent nature. Okay. This is
Parin,
inherent nature. Now this all covered. So this is rising disposition. This is rising disposition. Now this subsidential disposition, opshamic bhav. Okay. And this slightly covered and slightly opened up. So this is what? Subsidential come destruction. And now this shaik bhav, right? Shaik bhav is destructional disposition. So this is how we can relate to all the five kinds of disposition. Okay. I have shared this chart in the group also. So once if you can put this chart on the screen, everybody would see, and from there it can make out how it is. Then there is another chart also that I displayed wherein the comparative of all the five are given at a glance. This also you can refer. And if you are not able to understand any of this, okay, just try once, read the scriptures, follow the lecture, and still if you have question, you can ask now or you can ask later on also whenever you do study seriously. Okay. So if you have any questions regarding this chapter right now, you can ask. Otherwise, I will tell you something very interesting, which are not part of the textbook, but I would like to share with you.
There is something called Audarik Bhav. What is that? This is Audik Bhav. It's written Audik Bhav. There is something called Audarik.
Huh.
Audarik Bhav.
Audaric is Audaric Sharir.
Audaric Sharir, yes.
Audaric Sharir. That is, there are 5 kinds of body. Okay. So one is
Okay.
Audaric Sharir, one is Tejas, one is Carbon, then one is Vekric, and there is one more. Tejas, Aharak, right? Aharak. So these
I
are
think I
the,
confused
yeah.
Bhav. I thought that is one Bhav, sorry.
So these are the 5 kinds of body. So that is all related to Pudgal matter substance. Okay. And these are the dispositions of the soul, distinctive disposition of the soul. And this is not manifesting in any of the other substances. Okay. So this is it. Now,
Which chart do I share?
if you have any questions, you can ask.
Which chart do I share?
Okay, you have shown it. Everybody has seen it. So this was not the chart. Yeah, this one was the. I have given the English names to each. Okay, so you can have all the 5 at a glance, and your homework for concept clarity paper 2. Okay, is this chapter only 5 distinctive dispositions. Okay, so only this chapter, 1 page to 6 page, and even if you are not able to write it, you can just send a audio clip also within 1-2 minutes, whatever you want to say. Okay, but I would recommend that you make a chart like this and understand each very clearly, and this helps us in practicing discriminative knowledge, because in all these situations the parinamic bhav is unchangeable. Okay, karma's rise is air, rising disposition. Then we have subsidential disposition. Then we have subsidential come destructional disposition. And then we have destructional disposition. But this parinama bhav remains unchangeable. And I am this parinamic bhav. So there will be ups and downs in the modification. But during these ups and downs, I am undisturbed. Okay, not affected, uninfluenced. I am the constant. Okay, unchangeable. So this is what I am. So whatever happens in the disposition is something which I should not be getting affected. Okay, but if we don't understand it, and if we consider ourselves to be the situation, okay, then of course we will have problem. But we are not the situation. We are this parinamic bhav, inherent nature, knowing nature only, right? So if you understand this, then in all the situations in your life, you will be very calm and composed, peaceful, and you will not get disturbed by any ups and downs in the life. Okay, so this is the main takeaway of this chapter. Now there are some points I would like to say about Audik Bhav. Okay, Audik Bhav, what is the spiritual stage for Audik Bhav? Pratibha ji, what is the stages, spiritual stages of development for Audik Bhav? 1 to 14th. Okay, because in at the end of the 14th stage, this Audik Bhav gets totally eradicated. Okay, and you get liberated. So when you get liberated, this Audik Bhav is not there. So Audik Bhav is there from 1 to 14th stage. Okay, similarly, subsidential come destruction disposition, Sharp Shamik Bhav, right? It is from which to which stage, Jia?
14.
Which to which stage? Anyone else can try also?
So 1 to 12.
Very good. So 1 to 12, right? So 1 to 12 means even the ignorant soul will also have this. Okay. And the enlightened soul can also have this, because the 1 to 12th stage. Okay. So first stage are persons with delusion. Okay. And then in the fourth stage, the samyak drashti, right believer. Okay. So this is concerned with both. But opshamik bhav, subsidential disposition, and shaik bhav are only for the enlightened soul. Because opshamik bhav is from which to which spiritual stage? Opshamik, subsidential, fourth
So
to
2 to
11.
11.
4th to 11. Okay.
11.
So there is no first there. So it is always the right believer can have opshamik bhav and the shaik bhav. So shaik bhav is from which to which destructional dispositions?
4th to
2 to
14th.
14.
Plus,
Siddha Bhagwan.
right, Siddh Bhagwan. Even the liberated souls have this shaik bhav. What else bhav can Siddh Bhagwan have apart from shaik bhav?
Inherent nature. Paranamic bhav.
Yes, very good, very good. You have studied very nicely, Soumya. I must appreciate it. So it is all very easy if you study it, right? But if you don't spare time and try to understand this, then it will never go in your mind. So Jia, are you there?
Yes, yes, sir.
So now your college studies are over, right?
Yes.
So you are relatively free.
Yeah.
So you every day study one chapter. Not
Yeah.
only this, first you complete this, okay? And then also the Vitrag Vigyan 1, 2, 3. Just have a revision. Just go through the textbook.
Yeah.
And wherever you find that you are not able to understand, just ask me, okay? Just put a voice message or any questions you have, you can send the clip also, and I will be most pleased to answer those questions. So at least if your basics are very clear, no, then you will be able to understand when we go further into the course. Okay. So
Yeah.
as we move into deeper into the course, this all these things you should keep on revising. At least you remember the main points, not the whole chapter, but at least the takeaways that we discuss at the end of each chapter, that you should at least remember or understand. Okay. Even if you don't remember, but if you understand, then also it will be beneficial to you. Okay. So spend some time with Jinwani, and every day you should make it a practice. And now Das Lakshan Dharma are also coming up. So you will have more time. Okay. So this is for our own development. You can see such a situation where the whole universe is into depression and tension and worries. There in that moment also, you will be able to enjoy those moments. No tension, no depression. Okay. But you have to understand these principles. And if you are understanding this principle and applying to your day-to-day life, you will always be happy. There could not be any situation in life, you know. I am just giving you an idea that you studied psychology, right? And psychology also teaches this thing only. How you will be able to your uh, able to handle your day-to-day life situations, adverse situations, right? So that is what psychology is all about, and this is what we also teach here. Okay. But there they don't have this soul as the base, and here we have soul. So if you want to solve any problem, you have to take shelter of your inherent nature. That's all. That is the shortest route, shortcut. So anybody and everybody who wants to be happy in their life, they have to take shelter in their soul. Okay. It is full of infinite qualities. Okay. It is a pure soul. Impurities never gets into it. You know, we have been to hell. We have been to one sensed being, but nothing of us got reduced or got destroyed. We are the same soul. We are the same soul that was in hell. We are the same soul that we are here. And even if we get liberated, the soul is always unchangeable. And that is what who I am, right? So you should study this chapters very seriously, and this is going to bring change in your life. Okay. So we were discussing Odik Bhav, right? Odik Bhav. I want to say something. So Odik Bhav includes all virtuous as well as sinful dispositions. Okay. 1 to 12th stage, right? Odik Bhav, sorry, 1 to 14th stage. So it contains all kinds of virtuous and sinful disposition, auspicious and inauspicious disposition, delusions, passions, etc. The ignorant soul, okay, who is in the first stage, has always established, because of delusion, he has always established oneness with these varying dispositions, okay, and falsely imagined himself to be the doer of these, right? So this is the false understanding. Even if you believe yourself to be doer of all these dispositions, you does not become one, right? So there are no changes happening in the soul. Even if you believe wrong, the soul doesn't change. Okay. So now with the help of taking shelter in your soul, okay, inherent nature, you have to just understand these facts and accept these facts, and your delusion will get destroyed. And the moment your delusion gets destroyed, you know your true identity. Okay. So our true identity is the soul. Okay. We are all soul. Body is quite different from this. Okay. All the associations that we have got are different from this. Okay. We are not identified by our association, we are not identified by our body, and we are not identified by our dispositions. Okay. So all these three are outside the purview of soul. I am the omnipotent soul, full of infinite qualities, unchangeable. I cannot be influenced by any external factors. I'm such a soul. Okay. So if you established oneness with your soul, then all these Odik Bhav will start getting eradicated. Okay. And when you reach the 14th stage, all will be eradicated and you will get liberated. So this soul, because of his ignorance, he has believed himself happy, sad, good, bad, based on these Odik Bhav, rising dispositions. Okay. Second point on rising disposition, he falsely imagined himself as a great person based on his ability to practice vows, austerities, etc., and never realized the meaning of true religion. What is true religion? He looked at others' cruel intentions and labeled them as sinners. Okay. So this Odik Bhav also keeps on changing. Okay. So one who is a sinner, tomorrow he could be a right believer. It is not that he will remain sinner lifelong. Okay. There are stories in Pratman Yog like Anjan Chor. Okay. He was into all the 7 vices, and then somehow he connected to the monk and he came to know about all these principles, and he himself initiated into monkhood and became a monk and got liberated in the same birth. You can see the transformation from being a person with all the 7 vices to getting liberated in the same birth. This is the potential of each and every soul. Okay. So once a sinner is not always a sinner. So we should not look at other persons from this perspective. Okay. But these dispositions are not fixed and not shelter worthy. We are discussing now rising disposition. Okay. They are impure modification and are rapidly changing, dependent on the state of karmas and the soul's belief of oneness and mindness in these has resulted in his immense suffering. Okay. One is to realize that in reality, all these dispositions are fixed, sequential, and happening on their own. How are these disposition? Those are all prefixed. It will come in its sequence, okay? And it is happening on their own. Nobody is manifesting it, right? So if you know this, if you realize this, that all these dispositions are prefixed, sequential, and happening on their own, and the soul is only an observer, not a doer, only an observer and only a knower of these. That's all. Therefore, he is eternally separate from these rising dispositions. Next point. When the soul practices such a discriminative knowledge, right, that soul and the body are two distinct entities, his ownership of the impure disposition melts away, making the way for the seed of right knowledge to bloom. Okay. So once you practice discriminative knowledge, you can become a right believer. Okay. Also, one must not quantify others by their odik bhav, rising disposition too, because they are temporary and will be gone. Today, some of your friend has turned foe, but tomorrow they can become friend again, right? So nobody is a permanent sinner or a permanent benefactor, right? No two souls exhibit the same odik bhav. Even the odik bhav of two arhants, both in the 13th stage, will vary, will be different. It cannot be the same. Okay. This understanding allows one to see the other souls also as knower and perceiver, and mitigates the chain of passions, right? So if you are able to see somebody, not the doer of those activities, maybe they are doing some harmful activity to you, but if you don't see them a doer of those things and you consider your karma the cause of that, then you will not have any kind of passions towards them, right? So when you don't have passions, you are only enjoying, right? True efforts lies in seeing oneself as separate from all these impure disposition and as one with inherent nature, which is parinamic bhav. Okay. Thus, this understanding facilitates the evolution of true detachment from all the worldly desires, and the soul is able to seek solace in his own true self. Okay. So this is all about odik bhav. Okay. Why I highlighted this? Because the descriptive knowledge that we want to practice, that will be between the pure soul and the rising disposition. And it is only when you take shelter in your pure soul, inherent nature, that you become a right believer. And once you become a right believer, so either initially it is opshamic bhav, subsidential disposition, then after 48 minutes it either gets converted to shayopshamik bhav, subsidential come destructional disposition, or a shaik bhav, right? Destructional disposition. But right now, a shaik bhav cannot be manifested, because for shaik bhav to be manifested, there is a condition that there should be omniscient soul, right? There should be omniscient soul presence of omniscient soul is a condition. Okay. So now we don't have any omniscient soul, Aryant, right now. So now you cannot manifest Shaik Bhav. So initially it will be Opshamik Bhav, and then if it continues, then it will be Shayopshamik Bhav. But still you are a right believer. Okay. So this is what I have to say. Now, if you have any doubts, we can take up. Otherwise, we will move to the next chapter. So next chapter is 4 above. So this was 5 bhav, 5 distinctive disposition, and that is 4 abhavs. Abhav means non-existence. Bhav means existence, so abhav means non-existence. So 4 types of non-existence. This is the name of the chapter. This is adapted from Apt Mimansa. Okay. Apt Mimansa is written by Acharya Samant Bhadra. So this particular chapter is adapted from there, and there are verses in Apt Mimansa, and based on 3 verses, this whole chapter has been taken from there. Okay. So first of all, what is non-existence? What is above? What is non-existence? That is the question. Non-existence of one substance into the other substance is called abhav or absence or non-existence. Okay. So in other words, non-existence also means independence. Okay. It also tells us that each substance is independent. No one is dependent on any other substances. Each substance is complete in itself. Each substance is independent of one another. So therefore, there exists a relationship of non-existence between the two substances, between two types of modifications. Okay. So there are 4 types of non-existence. Okay. One is prior non-existence. Second is future or subsequential non-existence. The third is mutual non-existence. And the fourth one is absolute non-existence. Okay. So we will understand each of these 4, and then we will solve some of the examples. So you have to be very alert to answer those questions. Okay. So we will begin from the starting only, page number 51. Next page. This introduction we had already studied in Vitrag Vigyan 2, chapter 2. So we are not covering this introduction. You can read it as homework, but we will straightway begin the chapter 4 abhows. Okay. And Pratibhaji, you start reading.
Acharya Samant Bhadra. The nature of substance is multifacedness, just as existence is the nature of the substance from the point of view of the self. Above, absence, non-existence, is also in the nature of the substance from the point of view of the non-self. Disciple, what is an above? How many are they? Acharya Samant Bhadra, non-existence of one substance into the other substance is called absence above. There are 4 kinds of absence. Prag above, what is it? Pradvavanas bhav, then is that
Anyonya.
Anyoni bhav and
Anyonya.
Atyanta bhav. Did I say it right?
Right.
Yeah. Disciple, Kindly explain the four aboves briefly. Acharya Samantabhadra, the absence of non-existence of the present modification in the former past modification of a substance is called prag abhav. The absence, non-existence of the present modification in the posterior future modification of a substance is called pradvavan abhav. For example, the former modification of curd was milk, wherein the curd was absent. This absence is prag abhav. Curd water is the future modification of curd, in which the present modification of curd is non-existence. This absence is called pradvana sa abhav. Disciple, sir, you have explained this with the help of the example of milk and curd. Kindly explain it with reference to the soul. Acharya Samantabhadra, the non-existence of the modification of an introvert in the former modification of an extrovert is prag abhav. An absence of the same in the future modification of Godhood is pradvana sabhav.
So, what is
This,
the stop?
yeah,
So, first you write down the English names, so it will be for easy to you to pronounce also and understand also. Is it? So,
yes,
Pragbhav is prior non-existence. Pragbhav. Prag means prior, above means non-existence. Okay, prior non-existence. We will be using this word throughout, so you will develop an habit to read that way only. Okay, prior non-existence. So, prior non-existence. What is prior non-existence? Present. The present modification is absent in the prior modification. Okay, that is called prior non-existence. Okay, so this is related to modification. Okay, present modification is absent in the past. Okay, prior modification, and that is called prior non-existence. Very simple. So we will see the example. So first it was milk. From milk it became curd. And from curd we made it to buttermilk. So you have three things now. One is milk, curd, buttermilk. Okay. Now first we have to identify which is the present one. So out of this, let's consider curd as the present one. Okay. So absence of present modification in the past modification. So past was what? Unmute yourself.
Milk.
Past
Yes,
was
milk. So absence of curd in milk is prior non-existence. Got it?
yeah,
Now, present modification is curd and future modification is buttermilk.
yes,
So, absence of curd in the future modification, that is buttermilk. This is called future non-existence. What it is called? Future
okay,
non-existence. In Hindi, it is called pradvansa bhav. Okay? In Hindi, it is called pradvansa bhav. In English, we call it future non-existence. Everyone is clear with these two definitions?
yes,
Now, there where we studied that chapter in Vitrag Vigyan 1, okay, chapter 3, Atma and Paramatma. There we discussed Bahiratma, Antaratma, Paramatma. Bahiratma is extrovert. Antaratma is introvert. And Paramatma is God. Okay. Complete. So these three conditions: extrovert, introvert, and God. Okay. Godhood, Paramatma. Now you tell me prior non-existence and the future non-existence. How you will define it in this example?
Extrovert would be prior and the future God.
Right. But what would be the present?
Present would be introvert.
Yes. Now you give complete answer. So absence of introvert in the past, that was extrovert, okay, is called prior non-existence. Okay. And absence of present modification, which is introvert, into the future non-existence, godhood. Okay. So now you are able to make it. Now I'll give you one more example. Hmm. Pure gold, raw gold that comes out from the mines. Okay. Then you make it as a pure gold. And then you make bangles from it. Okay. 3 stages. Raw gold, that is with mud from the gold mine. And then it is pure gold. After heating it up, you arrive at pure gold. And then you make it into bangles. Okay. Now tell me prior non-existence and future non-existence in this example. Soumya.
सर बट इसमें प्रायर और फ्यूचर नॉन एग्जिस्टेंस तो रहेगा ही नहीं क्योंकि गोल्ड तो गोल्ड ही रहेगा राइट.
तो गोल्ड रहेगा लेकिन उसकी मॉडिफिकेशन तो कीप ऑन चेंजिंग ना. अर्लियर इट वाज रो
मॉडिफिकेशन
गोल्ड.
चेंज हुई बट स्टिल पास्ट वाले जो प्रॉपर्टीज हैं वो तो स्टिल उसके अंदर रहेंगे ना.
नहीं, अभी अभी अपन प्रेजेंट की बात करेंगे ना. जो प्रेजेंट मॉडिफिकेशन है उससे हम कंपेयर कर रहे हैं ना. प्रेजेंट मॉडिफिकेशन इज एब्सेंट इन द पास्ट मॉडिफिकेशन एंड प्रेजेंट मॉडिफिकेशन इज absent in the future modification. So we are discussing modification. The substance remains as it is. Okay.
हाँ तो सर लाइक लेट्स अज्यूम कि अगर पास्ट में जो रॉ गोल्ड था वो एक्स वाई और जेड था, हमने उसको हीट करके प्योर कर दिया तो वो जेड चला गया, सिर्फ एक्स और वाई रहा. करेक्ट. अब अगर हमने उसमें से बैंगल भी बना दिया तो अज्यूमिंग वो एक्स वाई ए भी हो गया, तो एक्स वाई तो हमेशा उसके साथ रहा ही. करेक्ट.
So you are not considering from the modification point of view. We are here discussing only modification point of view. Substance remains gold throughout. Okay. Earlier say it was bangle. Then you break it and made it a chain. And then you make it a say ring. Okay. Now all the three stages are of gold only, right? But the modifications are different. Earlier it was
ओके.
bangle, then you break it and made it a chain, then you make it at a ring. Okay. So like this you have to compare. So same substance. Present modification is absent in the past modification of the same substance. Okay. So that is prior non-existence. And present modification absent in the future modification is future non-existence. Now you tell me in this example, raw gold, pure gold, bangle.
So absence of pure gold in the raw gold was
Right?
prior non-existence,
Good,
and the absence of pure gold in the bangles form is future non-existence.
good, good. So this is what I wanted. Would you like to try, Arunji? I'll give you one more example.
श्योर सर.
Okay. Uh, Child, youth, old. Okay. Child become a youth. So and then he became an old person. Now
Sir,
you
so in the child, the modification of youth is present, correct? And again, in the old, the modification of youth is again present, absent in the old, right?
again, come again. You had some done mistakes in the wordings.
Okay, so in the child, the modification of the
First, you have
youth
to
is
arrive.
absent.
What is the present one?
The present one is the youth.
Yes, correct. Now you tell me how it is prior non-existence.
So prior non-existence, the modifications of the youth are absent in the child.
Right, very good.
And the future non-existence is that the modifications of the youth are absent in the old.
Right, now you are correct, absolutely correct. So there was tree. From there, we made a table, and then we burned that table and it become ash. So three conditions: tree, table, ash. Who else will try? Jia? Yeah, Jia, you try.
Tree, can you repeat the sequence?
Tree, table, ash.
So the absence of tree in a table would be prior non-existence,
Good.
and the absence of table in ash would be future non-existence.
Very good. So first you have to arrive what is the present. So table we will consider all the middle one always will be the present. So it will be easy for you to relate it to the past and future because present is in middle, right? So absence of table in tree is prior non-existence and absence of table in ash is future non-existence. Simple. Everyone is clear? Madhuji, you try. So wheat, raw wheat, then we made it into flour, and then we made chapati.
Sir, I am not present all the time. I have guests at home. So
Okay, no problem.
I have,
Else, Maltiji, you try.
Yeah, if we consider the floor as the present,
Yes,
the
very good.
absence of the wheat in the floor is the past non-existence, and the
Okay,
absence of the floor in the chapati is future
right.
non-existence.
Very good, very good. Now I feel that everyone has understood. Okay. So we will move to the other two. The Anyonya Bhav is mutual non-existence. And the last one is absolute non-existence. Anyonya Bhav is mutual non-existence and Atyanta Bhav is absolute non-existence. Now, we will read from the textbook the next two definitions. Yeah, from here. What is Anyonya Bhav? So, Maltiji, you read.
Disciple, sir, you have explained this with the help of the example of milk and curd. Kindly explain it with reference to the soul. Acharya, the non-existence of the modification of an introvert in the former modification of an extrovert is called pragabhav, and absence of the same in the future modification of godhood is pradvansvabhav. What is anonya bhav? Acharya, the absence, that is the non-existence of the present modification of one particular matter substance into the present modification of any other matter substance is called anonya bhav. Example, the present bitter taste of lemon is not present in the present sweetness of sugar. Disciple, please explain this also in the context of the soul. Acharya, this does not apply to the soul. You have not read the definition carefully, and so you put such a question. It is clear in the definition that the absence of the present modification of one matter substance with the present modification of any other matter substance is anonya bhav. This applies to matter substance only, and that too in their present modifications. What is atyanta bhav? Acharya, the absence, that is non-existence of one substance into another substance is called atyanta bhav. Example, The soul and matter substances have atyant bhav in each other. Remember that atyant bhav applies to 2 of the 6 substances. Anonya bhav applies to the present modifications of 2 matter substances. Raga bhav applies to the present and past modifications of 1 of the 6 substances, and Radhansha bhav applies to the present and future modifications of the 6 substances. Atyant bhav alone applies to a substance. The rest of the abhav apply to the modifications of substance.
Stop. So you got the 2 definitions. What is Anyonya bhav? The absence, the non-existence of the present modification of one particular matter substance. So it applies to only matter substance. That is the first thing that we can make out. Okay. So absence of present modification of one particular matter substance into the present modification of any other matter substance. Okay. So 2 matter substance, present modification of this matter is absent in the present modification of this. That is called Anyonya bhav. Anyonya bhav is what? In English it is mutual non-existence. Mutual non-existence. Okay. So,
So, but this is also present non-existence also. Even at present, the modification are not the same. Why is it only future non-existence? Even at the present, it is non-existent. They're 2 different things.
so it is only talking about present only. Both are the present modification, but 2 substances are different. Now, this is pen. Okay. Pen, and there is a refill inside it. Okay. So what kind of relationship exists between these 2 pen, the cover, outer cover, and the refill? That is mutual non-existence, because both are matter substance. Okay. What is the relationship between the pen and the soul? Tell me.
It's soul.
Tell me.
It is not about the soul.
Atyanta bhav.
Atyanta bhav, absolute non-existence. So when it is between 2 substances, it is absolute non-existence. When it is between present modification of one substance and present modification of another substance. Okay. Like take this pen and book. Okay. So this pen and book, they have this relationship of mutual non-existence, because this is also matter and this is also matter, but both are present modifications. Okay. So mutual non-existence applies in only the present modification. There is no future and past modification that we are considering here, but it is only related to matter substance. Okay. Now, if these 2 things are not independent, then what will happen? If we don't believe mutual non-existence, what problem will come? Can anyone answer?
So the book can be converted into a pen and the pen can be converted to a book.
So they both will become one. They will lose their identity, right? Pen will also lose its identity, and book will also lose its identity, and they will become one, because both are matter substance, and matter always mixes with another matter, right? So that is the problem. That we also have to consider mutual non-existence, and that is applicable only to matter substance. And the last one, absolute non-existence, is the absence of one substance into another substance. So first 3 that we studied now, prior non-existence, that was also related to modification. Future non-existence, because that was also related to modification. Mutual non-existence, that also related to modification. But the last one, absolute non-existence, is related to only substances only, right? There is no modification here. So soul and the body, what relationship exists between soul and the body?
Absolute non-existence.
Absolute non-existence. Good. Okay. So now you know all the 4 definitions, and we have also seen these through examples. Okay. Now, there is nothing else that is to be explained in this chapter. Now, Acharyas will only give examples. Okay. So we will read this first and then we will solve some of the other examples. And this is all that we have in chapter. So now this was very important. Remember from there. Okay. Remember that atyanta bhav, that is absolute non-existence, apply to any two of the six substances. Okay. Any two, you take it any two. Six substances are there in total, and you consider any two, and there established a relationship of absolute non-existence between two substances. Okay. The soul and the matter substance have atyanta bhav in each other. Okay. So remember that atyanta bhav applies to any two of the six substances. Anyanya bhav applies to the present modification of two matter substance. Okay. Prag bhav applies to the present and the past modification of one of the six substance, and Pradvansa bhav applies to the present and future modification of one of the six substances. Okay. But we relate it to matter. Examples, whatever we have given, that were all related to mostly matter and soul only, because that is what we can, matter substance we can see and we can make out the differences. Okay. But it exists in all the substances. Okay. Atyanta bhav alone, absolute non-existence, alone applies to a substance, and the rest of the non-existence apply to the modification of substances. So this much is clear. Out of four non-existence, three applies in modifications and one applies only in substances. Okay. Briefly, we can say that Prag bhav. Okay, this we have not read. So Amita ji, you read.
सर बट इसको प्रैक्टिकली कैसे यूज करना है इन चार कॉन्सेप्ट्स को, मतलब भाव का मतलब होता है कि हमारा नेचर।
एग्जाम्पल्स ही आ रहे हैं
ओके
और आपको पूरा समझ में आ जाएगा. Yes, you read briefly.
Briefly, we can say that Pragbhav is that by virtue of whose absence activity or behavior definitely follows. Pradvansa bhav is that by virtue of whose existence a particular activity is definitely destroyed. The absence of the present modification of one matter into the present modification of any other matter is anyonya bhav, and the absence in the context of all the three divisions of time is atyanta bhav. Disciple. What wrong will follow if we do not accept these four abhavas? Acharya Samantabhadra. 1. If we do not recognize pragya bhav, all modifications of the activities will have to be accepted since beginning less time. 2. If we do not recognize pradvansa bhav, all modifications will remain up to endless times. 3. If we do not accept anyonya bhav, all the modifications of all the matter substances will be merged into one, that is, they will become one and the same. 4. If we do not accept atyanta bhav, all the substances will abandon their natural attributes. The differences in the substances will be annihilated and all the substances will be one. It is hoped that you have understood the four abhaves. Disciple.
So we will discuss one at a time. If we do not recognize prag bhav, that is prior non-existence, all modifications of the activities will have to be accepted since beginningless times. Okay. So have you been able to understand this point? What it says?
Sir, does it mean that things are constantly changing?
Right. Very good. That means that people nowadays face depression because of their past failures. Okay, there is a coaching institutes in Kota, very localized. All the good coaching institutes are in Kota, and all the students who wants to pursue engineering goes there for study only, and they study there, and some of them commit suicide. Why? Because they face depression due to past failures. But this prior non-existence teaches us that the present modification is fresh. Okay? It does not exist in the past. So in the past, you have failed, but don't lose confidence. Okay? Because the next modification is a new modification. And in that new modification, that the past modification does not exist. Okay? So you have failed earlier, but now you have scope that you study more and you can also clear the exam. Okay? But because that fellow could not understand this, and they end their life by committing suicide. Right? So this is very important to understand that prior non-existence, that the present modification is pure, fresh, and it is absent in the past modification. So in the past, you have failed, but that does not mean that you will fail again, right? So Pragbhav, or the prior non-existence, tells us that the past is completely absent in our present. Okay? Past is completely absent in our present. So no matter how bad the past has been, one can always make an effort in the present and change his life. Okay? You don't have to be bogged down by your past experiences or failures, as each new modification presents a fresh opportunity. Okay? So this is the advantage of understanding this, right? We just now discussed the story of Anjan Chor, who was indulged in 7 vices. And then suddenly he got some contact with monk and he understood it, and he changed his life and he became a monk and he got liberated in the same life. Now, who will accept this fact? But Jainism says that prior non-existence, there is something called prior non-existence. Okay? So this is how you have to understand it. And this also tells us that you never judge anyone by their past faults. Okay? And forgive them easily. Now today, like uh, today the position starts for some of the people, Jain people, right? Some Svetambar Jain people. Ours will start on 8th. Okay? And then we will do it Uttam Shama on the last day. Why? Because the past faults, you have to forgive them, right? Because there is a prior non-existence. The present is not present in the past. Okay? The present is absent in the past. So never judge anyone with their past faults and forgive them easily. It is because someone who was wicked earlier can follow dharma and become very religious, pious. Then the next thing that we understand from this particular prior non-existence is there that never be overconfident. Never be proud of your past achievements, because the past is gone and we have to make efforts in the present only. Okay.
I
Generally,
have just a question.
right.
If the past doesn't have any implication on the present or the future, so फिर कर्मा ही क्यों है जो साथ चलते ही रहते हैं, past से भी, present में भी, future में भी?
Hmm.
It's a
So,
very big question का answer, so because we are all scared of this karma.
कोई बात नहीं, but you have to make the efforts in the present, no? You must have done past bad deeds, okay? And you have bound karmas also. And that karma will come into rise also. But the
That is
present is in your hand,
that
right? So in
past
the
से
present,
present में.
pardon?
In the case of karma, there is a past relation, there is a present relation, and there is a future relation.
Yes. Now karma, what happens, with your every sentiments that you manifest right now. Your karmas, there are changes in the karmas happening every moment. Now I'll give you an example. Now you are studying the scriptures, okay, Jinvani. Now your modification of a very high level. So previously bound karmas, okay, previously you had done some bad deeds and you have bound intense karmas. But because of your present modification, you are indulging in scriptural studies. So all those past karmas will also become mild. Gradually it will become mild. Okay. So whatever you do in the present, it's every moment affecting your past karmas. So that does not mean that you have bound so much karma and you have to suffer also because of the fruition of those karmas. You can still present is in your hand by making the right understanding. You can get rid of delusion. You can reduce those past karmas with your present efforts of your present modifications. Okay. So people have a tendency to remember the past and feel depressed, either because certain incident took place or because their golden days are gone. By mulling over the past, that cannot be changed. What has gone has gone. One loses the opportunity in the present. So there is no point in worrying about the past. The past is gone, right? Why are you losing the opportunity in the present? Prior non-existence tells us that every new modification is a fresh start and a golden opportunity to make an effort. Okay. So by understanding prior existence, by understanding prior non-existence, you make concrete efforts in the present and you can improve your future. Okay. So this is the understanding that we get from prior non-existence. Now, if we don't believe prior non-existence, all this will become zero. All this knowledge will become zero. And all the things will become, I would say, anadi. Okay. Nothing will change. A poor will remain a poor. Okay. And ignorant soul will become an ignorant soul. But no, it is not like that. There is a relationship exists in prior non-existence, and you may be poor in the past, but present you can become a rich. And a person who is rich now can become a poor. So this modifications keeps on changing, and the prior non-existence is the relationship between two modification of the same substance. Okay. So if we don't accept prag bhav, if we don't accept prior non-existence, okay, the transformation will never happen. Okay. So if those things happens, like a poor remains a poor and a rich remains a rich, then these happenings are against the law of nature, as can be evidently seen, which certainly proves that there is an existence of prior non-existence. Now, what are the advantages of earning future non-existence? If we do not recognize Pradvansa Bhav, all modifications will remain up to endless time. Okay. So the rich will all become rich, rich will remain rich, and poor will remain poor only. Okay. So what are the practical application by understanding this? The present condition is non-existent in the future. So even if one has limited knowledge and perception, it is always possible to make an effort to get engrossed in the self, in your inherent nature. Just now we studied parinamic bhav, okay, and attain liberation in the future. Okay. So this is the first point. Then the second one, your current status does not determine your future, which means that the rich can become poor and the poor can become rich. So one must not think of others as inferior Because today's sinner can become tomorrow's Siddh Bhagwan, just like Anjan Chor. Also, one should not be proud of his current status, and it is not going to remain permanently with you. It can change in the future. So there is no point in developing the feeling of pride in anything. People who plant extensively for the future must realize that in the current modification, you cannot do anything for the future because the future has not come itself. You have your present modification right now. Okay. So those who believe that let me fulfill my worldly responsibilities and enjoy my life presently, right? And I will understand religion later are making a big mistake as that later never comes. Okay. So it is the present that is in your hand and you can make most of it. Okay. By understanding the scriptures, by understanding these principles, by putting these principles into your day-to-day life practice and make your life happy. I shared one uh, lecture last week. जीना इसी का नाम है. Have you seen that? No? It's a very good
No.
video. Yeah, you must.
Yes, yes, I did. Mhm.
Yeah. So one must focus only on the present and take the maximum benefit of the same. Mulling over the past or postponing everything for the future is completely useless. If we leave aside worries of the past and future and instead stay in the present, then our anxiety will be much less. And all the philosophies of the world, GR, you must have studied in psychology that all they recommend that you be in the present moment. Don't worry about the past because that is already gone. And there, the future has not come. So you cannot change anything in the future, right? So be in the present and enjoy this moment. But what philosophy the world over goes? Eat, drink, and marry. Who has seen tomorrow? But it is not that way. So you have to make efforts in the present moment only, and that will secure your future. Okay. So Pradhan Sabhav teaches us this all these teachings. Okay. Now, what error will happen if we do not accept future non-existence? If we believe that the current modification exists in the next and so on, then a particular work or action continues till infinity. This means it won't be possible to end our mundane existence, to end our ignorance. Okay? Seed will remain a seed, child will remain a child, old will remain a old, and so on. Right? So that is the error if we don't accept future non-existence. Such assumptions are against the law of nature, and hence it is a great fallacy. So it is in our best interest to accept that every modification lasts only for one moment, one samay, okay, and is absent in all its past and future modification. Okay. So this understanding of prior non-existence, it ignites your efforts. Okay. And if you make efforts in the right direction, you will become happy in the present moment, and the fruition of that will make you happy. It will help you attain liberation and you will become permanently blissful. Now the third one, Anyonya Bhav. If we do not accept Anyonya Bhav, mutual non-existence, all the modification of all the matter substance, only matter substance, will be merged into one, and that is they will become one and the same. Identical and universal. Everything will become one. Okay. So what are the advantages of understanding this mutual non-existence? It is a common belief that disease gets cured by medicine. Just understand very seriously. Okay. If anything, you catch any disease, you go to the doctor, take medicine, and you believe that I'll be okay with these medicines. But the body and the pill are the two separate matter substance. And they have mutual non-existence in them. Okay. This means the body gets cured due to its own eligibility, and the medicine is only an instrumental cause. Okay. Now, car runs with petrol. There also mutual non-existence exists, because car is also matter substance and petrol is also matter substance. Okay. So car does not run by petrol. Now, Jia, you might have a question that how we can say that car does not run with petrol. But here this says that even if the petrol is full, sometimes car doesn't start, There are other factors. Battery is down. What you will do? Petrol is full. So it is not always that way. So whatever we see around us are all these kind of things. And we believe it that car runs with petrol, and that is because we have delusion. And that delusion persists. Okay. So if you understand this mutual non-existence, you know that nothing happens because of this thing. The rolling pin, the chapati, and the platform have mutual non-existence with each other. Hence, each is functioning independently and doing its own work. The work of chapati cannot be done by a rolling pin, and the work of the rolling pin cannot be done by hands, and so on. Everything is independent. By understanding this non-existence, you will realize that everything is independent. Nobody is dependent on anything. You don't have to worry. Nobody can harm you. You cannot help anybody. Each is independent. At first, these statements might be difficult to accept, but one must try to understand them with open mind, with logic, okay, with reasoning, and you will be able to digest all these, and this is what will make your life blissful. Okay. One more example. You are writing something on the paper with pen. Okay. So there is ink, there is hand, there is pen, there is paper, and all have mutual non-existence with each other. Okay. And we always believe that I write by pen, I write with my hand, right? But this is all false. Each is independent. The writing is happening on its own. The pen is moving on its own. The hand is moving on its own. All are different matter substances, and they have a relationship of mutual non-existence with each other. Okay. I am now explaining you, right? So this voice, this mouth is a matter substance. Voice is again a matter substance. Okay. So there is no relation. Mutual non-existences. Okay. So everything is independent. So I am not talking, right? I am the soul. Soul is not talking. Soul is only knowing, right? Then who is talking? So that bhasha vargana, because of that voice, that is coming out automatically. Now what will come out? Right? How much I can make you understand? It all depends on you. How much you want to understand. Right? In a class, teacher teaches 30 students, but one comes first and one comes last, and somebody doesn't clear the exam also, fail. Why? Teacher is same. Right? So this says that one matter substance cannot do anything in the another matter substance. All are independent. Each and every particle of matter is doing its own function independently. The eyes cannot do the work of ears, which in turn cannot do work of the nose. All three are independent. Eyes is independent, ears are independent, nose is independent. If one matter particle cannot do the work of another matter particle, how is it possible that it can be of any assistance to the jeev or the soul substance? Right? When one matter substance is not doing anything in the another matter substance, how can soul be happy with all the sensual pleasures, with all the sensual objects? Right? So this is something that we should understand. We realize that it is useless to consume non-veg medicines in the name of cure because of anyonya bhav. Right? So every time we doesn't see the contents of the medicine, है ना? So there are some non-veg ingredients in that, and if we don't see it, we commit sins, right? So we must see, because nobody gets cured by medicines, right? Because medicines is again a matter substance, and body is a matter substance. So how can one modification be doing something in another modification of the matter substance? So this anyonya bhav, mutual non-existence, helps us understanding in independence of this and this.
सर बट जब हमें पेन होता है या फीवर होता है, जब हम मेडिसिन लेते हैं सर, उसका फर्क तो पड़ता है।
फर्क पड़ता है, आप मेडिसिन नहीं भी लेते तो भी फर्क पड़ जाता है। I am practicing naturopathy since 2009. I've never taken a medicine. So it is almost 15 years now. I also get fever. I also get some disease, but there are ways to cure it. Medicine doesn't help, but we have this psychology that medicines will only help. And sometimes the belief works. You go to a particular doctor, he gives you something and you believe that, oh, I will be okay. So that your own belief, your own confidence makes you healthy, gets rid of diseases. There is a book written by a foreign author, Louis Hay. You can heal yourself. And in that, they have made a chart that what disease comes because of what kind of emotions. If you manifest anger now and then, you will develop ulcer, acidity. All the diseases are connected to our emotions. So if you understand the scriptures, if you are able to be happy in all situations, you will never have diseases in the first place. And even if you have diseases, there are alternate options available apart from allopathic medicines. But since our birth, we have been taught it this way. We have been trained. Our mind is trained. If I get a fever, I should go to the doctor, take the medicines, I will be all right. That is the belief that we carry. And because of that belief, you get cured. You don't get cured because of the medicines. So it is all like that. So Anyonya Bhav proves you everything scientifically. It is not something that our acharyas are saying and we have to accept it. You can still prove it. The prior mutual non-existence. Okay. Now coming on to the last, absolute non-existence. If we do not accept Atyanta Bhav, all the substance will abandon their natural attributes. The difference in the substances will be annihilated and all the substance will be one. It is hope that you have understood the four abhaves. Okay. So absolute non-existence. What are the practical applications of this? Since all the substances separately exist, independently exist, one substance cannot do anything to another. Hence the fear that someone will harm me diminishes naturally. Right? One substance does not do anything of the other. So there is no point in fearing because nobody can harm you. Because of your own past karmas coming into fruition, okay, inauspicious karma, you can be harmed by anybody. Even your son can harm you. Even your brother can harm you. Even your spouse can harm you, right? But those are all instrumental causes. The fact is, you need not fear. Nobody can harm you, okay? Also, the feeling of dependence goes away because no other substance can even assist you in any way. This invokes a sense of independence and self-reliance. Okay. It destroys the false ego of doing things that are happening naturally, right? A bullock cart was going on and a dog was going ahead of that. And dog was thinking that uh, I am driving this bullock cart. Now, how much is the truth? Bullock cart is moving on its own, but the dog unnecessarily believes that he is driving the cart. So that is his wrong belief. And because of wrong belief, he is suffering. One stops believing that nothing is my home, nothing in my home, office, workplace happens without me, or that I am irreplaceable, indispensable. One does not take the stress of doing anything for others because every substance is capable of doing its own work. The parents worry for the child, but the child has its own destiny, right? The parents may worry, but that worry is not going to do anything in the child. Child has its own auspicious and inauspicious karma with him. The moment he was born in your family, he's come with his own auspicious, inauspicious karma. And accordingly, the events will unfold in his life. And we believe that I am bringing up the kids. I have done this, I have done that. So all these are wrong belief. Okay. So if you believe this absolute non-existence, your life becomes simple and anxiety free. The passions will not manifest itself. Last point, we stop believing that favorable circumstances and material wealth gives us happiness. As a result, we stop wasting our entire life running behind their accumulation and evolution of a simple life, which is devoid of unnecessary sins and possession starts. We stop blaming others for our faults or circumstances, and hence passions like anger do not arise. As a result, the passionless state, vitrakta, automatically evolves on the basis of this understanding. Okay. Now, what are the errors if we do not accept absolute non-existence? So if we do not accept absolute non-existence, all the substances will abandon their natural attributes and merge into each other. Then the separate identity of each substance will stop to exist. Hence, all the substances become one. Soul will become the body and body will become the soul. This is clearly against the law of nature, and hence the existence of absolute non-existence is proved. Okay. So now I think, Arunji, you have been able to realize what is the use of understanding this. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now continue. Arun, you only continue from here. Disciple. Yes, sir, I have followed them.
Sir,
Yeah,
which page is this?
yeah, 53. It's on the screen.
Sure, sir. Disciple. Yes, sir. I have followed them. Acharya. What abhav exists in the body and the soul? Disciple. Atyanta bhav. Acharya. Why? Disciple. For one is matter substance while the other is soul substance, and the absence between two substances is called Atyanta bhav. Acharya. What abhav exists in the book and the jar? Ananya bhav. Because the book and the jar both are present modifications of matter substance. Acharya. The soul is from beginning less times omniscient. Disciple. Pragabhav. For omniscience is the modification of the attribute of consciousness, and as such, modifications of sensory knowledge and others do not have its existence. Acharya. What abhav has not been accepted by those who believe that the present attachment will trouble one throughout life. Disciple. Pradhav, Pradhavnasa bhav, because the present modifications of attachment are non existent in the future modifications. of the attribute of conduct. As such, the present attachment cannot be instrumental to future happiness or unhappiness. Disciple, what are the benefits of understanding these four abhavs? Acharya, if one who has been indulging in sinful wrong faith and other demerits makes effort can destroy these and develop the religious states of correct faith and other merits. Because the present modification does not exist in the past modifications, the inferiority complex, like those that lead to regarding one's as a sinner and not having the capacity to adopt religious styles of life, are removed by understanding Prabhav. In the same way, by understanding Pradhan Bhav, Pravadhansa Bhav, one can achieve glorious modifications in future. However, mean and low the present conditions may be, because the future modifications have absence of the present modification. This way, one is encouraged to become soul-minded even in the present ignoble states, disregarding all inferiorities. Disciple, kindly let us know the benefits of Ananya Bhav and Atyant Bhav, Acharya. Because there is Atyant Bhav in different substances, one substance cannot change or create or destroy the other ones. By such understanding, our eternal fear that somebody can do us any harm is removed. Looking to others for our own welfare and knowing that others will do us some good are also washed off. Ananya Bhav creates a feeling of independence in us. For when one modification of matter substance is quite different from and independent of the same of other substance, the same are quite so from others, the same are quite so from other soul. Thus, by understanding these four abhavs, feelings of independence grow, hopes that others can help us or harm us are dashed into pieces. Fear is totally annihilated, and the feelings of loneliness and inferiority in the face of weakness of the past and the present and the consequent impurities are done away with, and spiritually minded persons become introvert and proceed on the path of complete liberation. I hope you have understood the benefits arising out of the knowledge of these abhavs. Disciple. Yes, sir, I have followed them perfectly well. Acharya. Then tell me what mistake one commits if one believes that if our bodies are strong, our voice is also strong. Disciple. He doesn't know the nature of
Mutual non-existence.
mutual non-existence because the strength and fatness of the body are due to the ahar vargnas, karmic matter, and the force of the voice is the work of speech, karmic matter. This way, there is anonya bhav in the fatness of the body and speech. Acharya. Omniscience emerges after the destruction of consciousness covering karma, Gyanavarni karma. What is wrong in believing this? Disciple. Person with such a belief doesn't know Atyant Bhav, for there is this abhav in Gyan Karma and the soul. More so, how can one substance affect any modification in the other one? Acharya. Religious texts describe like that from untrue conventional aspect to give us knowledge of the indifferent instrumental causes present at the time of the birth of the new modifications. But from the real point of view, one substance cannot create, change, or destroy the other one. Thus, the nature of things is multifaceted. One modification is not the nature of the whole substance. Abhav is also in the nature of things. The scheme of things will fail without accepting it. It is therefore necessary to understand the nature of all the four abhavs, to do away with all the delusion, attachments, and aversions, and remain very alert in this attempt.
Okay. So the chapter is complete and all the examples were given. I hope you will be able to understand. Now let me ask you some questions. What kind of non-existence exists between milk and cake, मावा? दूध का मावा बनता है ना? So milk and that मावा, what kind of non-existence exists here?
Future non-existence.
Future non-existence.
So what would you consider as the present one?
Milk.
Milk. Yeah, then it is true.
But
Now,
it can be the third one as well, because milk, uh, I
yes,
mean, milk and mava can coexist, right?
yes.
So they
No,
are two
not
different
both
substances.
coexist, but both are Pudgal, both are matter
They,
substance. So
right.
it could be mutual non-existence also. Very good. Now I'm giving three words: milk, mawa, and gulab jambu. Okay. Now consider mawa as the present modification. Okay. So now you uh, establish prior non-existence and future non-existence in this. Arunji.
Sir, the modifications of mava are absent in the milk. So this is past,
Prior, right.
pri- prior thing. And
Prior
then the modification prior
non-existence.
non-existence. And then the modifications of mava are absent in the gulab jamun.
Ah,
So that is future non-existence.
okay.
And
Now,
again, it can be the third case as well, wherein all three are matter and they cannot intermingle with each other.
yes. Good. Very good. Now, among the four non-existence, what exists between, one minute, it's given in the textbook itself. Desire and speech. Tell me. Desire and speech.
Sir, it will be the third one because they both are matter.
Desire is matter.
Uh, Sir, speech is matter. Desire is, I don't know.
Desire is part of soul. It's a modification of the soul. Right?
Okay.
So desire and speech will be what non-existence then?
The fourth one.
Absolute. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to mention the name. Absolute non-existence. Spectacles and consciousness. Maltiji.
So consciousness, of course, is a modification of the soul, and spectacles is a substance.
So
Absolutely hoga.
very good. Body and clothes, Pratibhaji.
They both are matter because the body
Right.
is ajiv and the clothes are also ajiv. So they both are substance.
So what relationship exists? Mutual non-existence.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mutual non-existence. Third one, right?
Mhm.
Then Jia. Body and soul. Fast. I want fast answers.
Body and soul is fourth one.
What is the name of the fourth one?
Absolute.
Yes, absolute. You have to say the names, okay? Not third one, fourth one. And now, sweets and mouth.
Sir, mutual.
Yes.
Very good. Karma and soul. Amitaji.
Atyanta bhav.
Yes, very good. Driver and car. Arunji.
Sir, mutual.
Driver means the person or the body.
Sir, they both are matter.
So you are considering the body, right?
Right.
Now, if you consider the soul of the driver and the car.
Then it is the absolute.
Right. So there are two answers to that. Now, God and divine sound. Maltiji.
And divine. God and divine soul, you said.
Pardon?
God and divine soul or
No,
divine
divine
speech?
sound.
Divine sound.
Divya Dvani.
Divya Dhvani. So this is again of the soul. So it is, but it is the divine sound of the God.
Right.
So, I know it's not absolute, of course.
It is absolute.
It is
God is
absolute.
a soul substance and divine sound is a matter substance. Bhasha Vargana. Right? So there is one correction we were reading here. Page number 55, third paragraph. He does not know the nature of Anyonya Bhav because the strength and fatness of the body are due to the Ahar Varganas. And the force of the voice is the work of speech. So speech is Bhasha Vargana. Okay. So both are matter substance. It is written here karmic matter, but it is not karmic matter, but it is matter. Bhasha Vargana is also a matter substance and Ahar Vargana is also a matter substance. So that correction you just do it. Okay. Now, next example, lady and chapati. Pratibha ji. So lady body and lady soul. You have to say.
So lady is a body, so if we go as a soul, and chapati is the matter, so that would be absolute.
And if we consider lady as the body,
Yeah, lady as a soul. If
lady
it's
as the,
considered as a soul, then it would be absolute, absolute. But if
right,
I consider lady as a body and
right.
chapati also as a matter, then will be absolute non-existence.
Not absolute.
Yep, not absolute, but
Matter, no,
non-existence
matter
because
substance is what?
matter
Mutual,
substance is chapati
mutual non-existence it is.
or is again mutual.
Both are matter substance, no? Third one, mutual non-existence. Karm and disease,
Mutual.
good. Okay, now I'll give you one example. You have to mention all the four existence in that example. This is the last example that we are doing it. You know, potter, kumbhar. Potter makes a jar, घड़ा, मिट्टी का घड़ा बनाता है potter, right? कुंभार मिट्टी का घड़ा बनाता है. Potter made, potter makes jar. Now you have to establish four non-existence in this.
Oh my
Can,
God.
who can try? Raise your hand. Let me see how many of you are able to do it. Just think for 1 minute, no problem. Okay, Arunji can try. Who else can do it? Just brainstorm. All the four can be related to it. Okay, Arunji, you only tell.
Sir, if we consider mitti as the present,
Okay,
right? So if mitti is present and then the potter makes something out of that mitti,
right,
so the modifications of that mitti is not present in that utensil which he's making,
right,
right? So this is an example of future non-existence,
good.
correct? Now he extracts that mitti from somewhere, correct? He
Okay.
purifies it. So the modification or purifying that mitti, like that
Huh.
example from its past, it is the past modification example.
Hmm.
Then there are three examples. One is the potter, mitti, and the jug which he's making. They
Hmm.
all three are mutually non-existent, right?
Right,
And then if we consider the soul of the potter, mitti, they are absolute non-existence, and the
right.
soul of the potter and the jug are absolute non-existence.
Good, good. Very good. Uh, Jia, you can try all the four. If I give you one more example like this.
Yes, sir.
Goldsmith makes bangles from gold with the help of tools.
So, I'm considering like gold in the present form.
Hmm.
Then original would be like the extracted gold, and
Hmm.
that sense, like present gold won't have the extracted molten form of the goods that would be prior
Hmm.
non-existence.
Very good.
Then the jewelry made out of the present gold
Right.
will not have, like, that'll be future non-existence.
Very good.
Uh, the two and mutual non-existence would be between uh, the person who's making the gold, if we consider that person as a matter substance, and
Okay.
the jewelry and the tools and the
Right.
gold in the present form. And absolute non-existence would be if we consider the goldsmith as as a soul, and among other things.
Entangles, right? Okay. Very good. Correct. All correct. So you
Sir,
hope,
I have one doubt.
yeah.
Sir, so does this mean, like, is it something that is signifying that what is, like, our actions don't have any meaning? What is bound to happen will happen. That is why, like, the past modifications, they don't exist. The future modifications don't exist, right?
Hmm.
No, I'm asking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All the sequences, all the modifications sequences are bound. It will come in that order only. And you are an observer. Okay, you don't become a doer. That's all. You be an observer. You are by nature observer. Even if you believe that I am doing all these things, you don't become a doer. That is the fact. Okay. Now, the sooner you accept this fact and establish yourself as an observer only a knower and seer, you are on the right path. But if you become a doer, then it is delusion, wrong path. Okay. So all the sequence of each and every substance in this universe is prefixed. It will come on its own, all the modifications of each substance. Okay. So all the full universe is in automation mode. Nobody is doer of anything. Everything is happening independently. And if you are able to understand this in your knowledge, that everything is independent, then you will be the most relaxed person, because there is nothing on our head. Everything is happening independently. Right? So it is like that. I can ask you one question, but I won't ask you right now, because then it will open up another chapter, and that we are going to study in fourth sem. So unnecessarily, don't want to bother you right now, but this much you have understood, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now our last chapter is left, and that is the 32 Wishful Reflection, Bhavna Battisi. It's written by Acharya Amit Gati, and it is translated by Babu Yugalji from Kota into Hindi. Earlier it was written in Sanskrit. Okay. So that we will be covering next class, and that will be our last class. And of course, then the third section will start, and that is all. And the Parmagam Honors team, all the teachers from Parmagam Honors will take one 10 Lakshan Dharm every day. But that will be on a prior day, and it will be announced today or tomorrow only. Okay. So it will start from 6th. Okay. 6th of September. And initially, the first day it will be introduction, then will be Uttam Sama, Supreme Forgiveness, and then all the 10 will follow. Okay. So
What will be
every
the
day,
time of this class?
time will be 9:30 p.m. India time.
9:30 p.m.
Yeah, India time. Okay. So that will happen one every day. Now, apart from that, I will be also taking this in English, because that will be in Hindi. Okay. So in English, if you want, I can take one religion every day. You suggest me the time in the evening, anytime after 6 p.m. India time. Or all you have commitments in your local temple?
Yes, sir. We all, even now there'll be a lot of activities done.
Okay.
But it will do just before 9:30, I guess.
That is that. So that lecture will be in Hindi. If you can pick up from there, that
Before
is okay.
9:30.
Yeah, that is okay. So what we'll do, ki next week, we will mark up all the 10 religions. Okay, I'll mark the points from the textbook. Okay, and then you cover that recordings. That will be every day. It will be half an hour class, 9:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. like that. Okay, and I'll be sharing the page numbers also of the points of the textbook. Okay, next week. So that will be done, and then you study on your own as you find when time. Because now is the 10 Lakshan Dharma. So every day you must read one dharma every day. Okay, it is hardly 10 pages, and one page takes 2 minutes. So it will be 20-30 minutes only every day, and that you must read because this whole subject 10 Lakshan Dharma is paper 1 and it is self-study paper. So you have to study on your own. And if you are all comfortable, I would take one class every day in English, 45 minutes. But since most of you are engaged in some temple or connected to the some temple, so it is better that you attend live lectures because there in every temple we have scholars coming from outside and they will share their experiences and that will be nice if you attend it live. Okay. So what else I can do is I can share a recording, last year's recording in English. Okay, that will help you. Uh, so you can catch up on recording or you can read the textbook live. I will be covering all the points on each chapter. Okay. So next week that we'll do. We'll complete first this chapter, last chapter, then we will give the page numbers of that. And then you have to do it on your own. And there will be a live lecture every day in Pramagam Honors group. And that link will be different from this, what we are doing. So that link will also I will be sharing and which day which teacher will come and teach. So I am going to teach on 6th. First day I am going to teach. That will be the introduction of 10 Lakshan Dharma. Okay, 9:30 p.m. That is on Friday, 6th of September. And then every day you will be able to listen to one dharma on prior day. So ours is starting on 8th. So 7th you will be studying about supreme forgiveness. Okay. So like that it will go on. And in between, if you have any questions on the textbook, you let me know. So I'll be taking that. No problem. Okay.
Sir, I was suggesting if it's possible, like sometimes the Hindi lectures can get like really hard in terms of vocabulary to
Okay.
understand. So if it's possible, can you just share like a vocabulary list like for Hindi to English translation for like
So what we can do that is vocabulary. Vocabulary. I have one dictionary. Okay. From Kiritbhai Gosalia, USA. And it's a very comprehensive dictionary and that there it's a glossary of all the Hindi words being used. So that one I will share and the one is there in Mokshmark Prakashak book. So these two glossaries I will share and you will be able to get all the meanings. But in case if you don't get any meaning, you just message me what is the meaning of this word in English. I will immediately message you back. Okay, so that we can do. And I will be sharing these two dictionaries. One will be the Mokshmar Prakashak one by Pandit Hemchandraji, and one is from Mr. Kirit Gosalia from USA. So both these dictionary will be handful to you, and that will be sufficient for you, I suppose. Okay. Because there the Hindi words will be there, and English meaning will be given there. So you have to search according to the Hindi words. Okay. But it will be all written in English only. Only the words will be Hindi. So it will be a transliteration. Okay, so this will settle your 10 Lakshan Dharma, which is paper number 1. And today you set up in the Moodle. Today is what date? 31st, right? So 28th will be the last day of submitting concept clarity paper 2, Tattvagyan part 1, chapter 6, 5 distinctive disposition that we completed today, right? So you can prepare the charts, you can write the definitions of each, and you can refer the lectures and the textbook. That's all.
I can't get the volume.
Pardon? You're saying anything, Malti ji? Okay. So I think all of you are good. Have a very great Das Lakshan Dharma, because every Das Lakshan Dharma, there is something new that we gain in terms of knowledge. And because you are doing Parmagam honors course, this year you will be understanding better. So go to the temple, attend the lectures there by the visiting scholar. And if you have any questions in your mind, you can always refer to me. Okay. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत
I'm
उपकार.
not able to hear you.
Not able to hear me? Jia, you are able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, it's fine. Your network must be a problem. So, निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, इसके लिए जिनवाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिनवाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है.